Welcome back into Sick 365 Radio. Paul, Catalina, Craig Smoak still for today, and hopefully next week we'll be back in the studio all together again eventually, but hopefully early next week we're there. But now we're joined here by Baylor legend Tweety Carter, who I believe, Tweety, are you in Poland? Is that where you are?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. In Poland, just got done. He had a game yesterday, road trip, all these things, and staying up late to be on with us. And Ode to Joy, Sigum 365's documentary on Scott Drew and the building of the Baylor program premieres next week. You're in it. I'm in it. Smokey's in it. A lot of people are in it. It's a 3-part series. Tweety, when they called and asked you to be a part of this, what were your thoughts about the stories you were going to tell and sharing your part of this build up to the national championship last year?
Once I got the call, it was for sure I was doing it. No question. You know, me coming to Baylor and knowing the history behind, you know, everything that happened at Baylor and what they were trying to become, you know, immediately I was like, yes, I'll do it. No problem. You know, and to see, you know, us go from being where we was at the champions and Coach Drew and that class hold that trophy up, you know, meant a lot to me because, and I'm pretty sure it meant a lot to the other guys, you know, because we put a lot into Baylor. Baylor put a lot into us, you know, and I'm just happy to be in this position.
So Tweety, I mean, I know that you've done interviews over the last several years, and you've talked about your experience in Baylor and everything they've been through and all that. But what was it like to sit down with cameras on you and kind of dive in? And what did you find to be sort of the most interesting things that you discussed, or just the conversation that you had in reflecting on, you know, the ode to joy and all that comes with that?
I mean, again, just to look back at everything. You know, and knowing what we went through, and you know, like you don't like everybody that was there at that particular time from 2006, you know, from my year to 2010, we all was young. You know, we all, the coaching staff, us as players, you know, and we grew together, and through the ups, the downs, we made it out together, and we never pointed fingers, even when we got laughed at times, you know. We knew we was better than what we was doing early on, and we knew it was a matter of time before that switch come on. And the coaching staff, you know, credit to them a lot. They always made us believe. They always kept us pushing, you know, and things like that. And I really don't, you know, a lot of people would ask, you know, why are you so positive about Baylor? Because I really don't have no negative moments, because everything that negative that we went through really was the cause of us where we at today, you know, and the negative things was us not winning and doing those type of things. So, you know, when you're not winning at the time and you got the coaching staff still backing you, you got everybody still backing you, you got the people that really care still backing you, and make you want to fight and make you want to continue to work hard to try to accomplish whatever goal you need to accomplish. And just to see everything unfold the way it did is just a big blessing. And again, I always say it's a special program, and that's why from day one, that's the main thing I said. I wanted to be a part of a special program. And again, 2022, we're having this conversation.
Well, I mean, you're 16, 17 years old when you're getting recruited. McDonald's All-American. I mean, everybody is in your house and telling you, like, hey, you need to come to this school, XYZ. How at 17 years old were you able to see that you wanted to be part of something that wasn't just, hey, I can go to Kentucky or wherever, and they're already established, that you wanted to build something?
Because I wanted to make my own name. You know, anytime a lot of guys would come and recruit, they always tell you could be the next this person, you could be the next that person. You know, and Baylor never did that to me. You know, Baylor always told me, you know, you're going to come here, you're going to work hard. We got Curtis Jones, we got Henry Dugat, we got all of these guys, Aaron Bruce, you know, and things like that. And, you know, me knowing that I'm a competitor and I never wanted anything to be handed to me. You know, Coach Timmy Bird raised me that way. You know, I played for him in high school, you know, and I didn't want anything handed to me. I always wanted to come and work. And I knew coming to games, coming to watch, you know, Curtis Jones, Henry Dugat play. When I first seen them play, I'm like, man, those guys can play. You know, and, you know, instantly when I got there, Aaron Bruce, when I got there, I wanted to learn from him, and all they did was help out. Kevin Rogers, even though we played different positions, Mamadou, all those guys, man, they really guided me through my freshman year because, a lot of people, when I say I wasn't mentally ready, like a lot of people think, well, you was a McDonald's All-American, you did this, you did that. It wasn't about basketball. It was about going to school, study hall, practicing, lifting weights, putting the extra work, being on your own, raising yourself, coming from a small town like Reserve, Louisiana, and coming now, I have to instantly grow up, and things like that. That's the part that I wasn't ready for right away. And it caused me not to be my best because I wasn't ready. But at the end of the day, when you have teammates that help you, have coaches that help you, everything pans itself out and works itself out. And again, that's why I wanted to go to Baylor because it allowed me to grow up and become who I am today.
So, Tweety, I know that you've kind of referred to not only this conversation, but when we've talked to you before about, talking with a lot of the guys that you just mentioned about the run that the team went on last year and the team that the run's still currently on. But what has it been like to talk to the Mamadous and everybody else about just, kind of looking back and going, wow, like we helped build this and look where it is now?
We don't talk every day. Not all of us talk every day. But, when we see each other, man, it's nothing but love. Like, it's all appreciation. It's just like, man, look what we had done. Do you see the guys? Do you see what the young guys are doing? Do you see Coach Drew and them, man? Do you see we ranked number one? That's the conversation you have, when we see each other. So it's always love, man. It's always appreciation because we knew that it was just bigger than us for that moment. We knew we was playing for something much bigger years down the line. For Baylor. And again, like those guys, Jared Butler, Davion, and all those guys, Maceo, all those guys that played a part in winning that championship, it feels good to see them because I've seen their work that they put in as well,
What was the group? I'm sure you had a group chat the night of the championship. What was that thing like?
It was, I'm not really the group texty type guy. So, for me, I was just drawing them on. I tell people all the time, I was playing that night, so I ain't had time to text. I was literally in that game with them playing. I was the sixth man, So, it was just nothing but excitement and nothing but happiness and like, man, we can honestly say we national champs. And a lot of people like, well, that group won it years later. Man, when you stay a part of something, you're constantly there every summer. Me and my family live there. Me and my wife and kids live there now. And to go there every summer and see the grind that everybody in that gym put in, from the coaching staff to the managers, from everybody, it's just it's fun. It's fun to be around. And a lot of people think, man, y'all always positive there. That's what the coaching staff creates. And that's what everybody else creates around you, positivity, and that's why we was able to grow. And that's why, those guys was able to bring home that championship for us.
So, Tweety, obviously they lost a lot from last year. You mentioned, Davion and Jared Butler, and there's others as well. But we're returning some guys that yet, had to replace a lot. And here they are. They're the number one team in the country. It's like the ride never stops. They're 14-0. They're off in the Big 12 play right now. How much have you been able to watch of this year's team? And for what you have been able to follow, what have been your thoughts?
Oh, man, it's been so fun to watch these guys, man. The point guard, he's just unbelievable. The speed that James brings to the game. Adams, he's gonna do what he's gonna do. He's one of those guys that put in a lot of work. And you got LJ. A lot of people don't realize how much he brings to the table. And I think he's one of those kids that will continue to grow for Baylor and become something special as well. And the young guys, man, they just come in with nothing. They come in with nothing but effort, and things like that. And you have Jonathan, man, and Flo down there in the paint. I can't say enough about those two. When I say they'll roll guys and don't care what type of shot their players shoot, they don't care what go on the floor. They coming out and they playing 100%, 110% every single night. And and it's hard to find guys like that. And that's what makes this group a special group, because you got a championship group that has the same two starting five men coming back with a new group, the man in the middle. And all they have to do is continue to lock up in the full court and things like that, and turn them into those guys, man. And it's something special to see the energy and the roles that they play, and nobody's trying to do nothing what they can't do. They continue to trust each other, and that's the difference. That's the big difference.
Tweety, you love basketball. I mean, everything about you since I've watched you and known you. You love the game of basketball. How much was that love watered by Coach Drew's enthusiasm for it? Because I can kind of hear it in your voice. You talk about it kind of like he talked about it, or or Coach Matt talked about it. Any of those coaches you had that all had that enthusiasm for the game. You really seem to have that as well.
Yes, for sure. When I first got to Baylor, Coach Tang was a guy that I knew him, from recruiting me and things like that. But once you get to school, you start understanding everybody a little bit better, and to see the energy that Coach Drew and everybody else, at that time the coaching staff had, was like, I know this ain't real, man. They're not gonna be like this next week. Like, there's no way they come out with this energy week, and they always taught us that, you can go through things personally. You can go through things in your life. No telling you can't. You could come in with bad days. You could come in with rough days. But when you step between these lines, for these 2.5, 3 hours that we have, let's fight together. Let's go through this, whatever we going through together. And that helps. We used to have this thing called Camp 5 where, we ran for like 40 minutes. We did different drills. We didn't touch basketball. And we hated that. We hated the morning, but Coach Tang did a run with us one time, and he didn't make the time, and we kind of laughed at him. But Coach Tang, one thing about him, he don't like to be laughed at. So he came back that day. I don't remember if it was that later that day or the next day, and ran and made that time. And that showed me so much love that these coaches have for us, not to let us down. So I felt in my heart, and what I tried to be a leader about is not to let them down, and we all felt that way, to see those guys putting that work with us, time after time. Again, getting laughed at, after some games, and Baylor is not this or not that, and they're not judge us or not give up on us. That's what keep me going and keep me excited about Baylor and what they're doing now in the future.
So, Tweety, this is going to drop, I guess, the first episode on Monday, a 3-parter, as Paul mentioned earlier. Tons of people, including yourself, were interviewed for this. How excited are you? Did you get to see the trailer, and how excited are you to kind of see the finished product?
I want to see I just want to see it when it drops. I know it's going to be special. A lot of people ask me, will I watch the trailer and things like, I don't want to see anything until it drops. I just can't wait. I know it's gonna be special. And I'm excited to see it, and I'm just grateful and thankful to be a part of this.
Tweety, I haven't seen it yet. I just talked to a couple of the people involved, and they said that your part really comes off great. Said you have every emotion when it comes to talking about Baylor and Scott Drew and this program and the coaches. That you have all of them, and you just wear it all out there, and it really plays great.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah. Tweety, could you imagine 17, 18-year-old Tweety Carter, and then looking forward, nearly 15, 20 years later, you're sitting down to do a full-blown documentary on a Baylor national title team? Like, how surreal is that?
Nah, it's man, I didn't, you want things to happen sooner than they always do, but it's, man, like, dang, like, they really won a national championship, and like it's a blessing, man, to see all of the work over those, like you said, 15 years, 20 years down the line. All that hard work, all that trust that the coaching staff had to put in one another, the players had to put in one another, the sacrifices. A lot of the players make the sacrifices, the coaches make the sacrifices, the university, the fans, everybody made to be a part of this. That's true to Baylor, understand the road that we had to take and get where we at today. You know, and I'm just thankful to be a part of it. And I forgot about one guy, Matthew Myers. You know, you know, to see him play, man. You know, to go back to what you said about the guys that's there now, the core group. He's a senior now, you know, and things like that. To see them guys, you know, sacrifice and willing to just play within the team, believe in Coach Drew's system. That's why they're number one. You know, that's why they're number one right now, because everybody trusting each other. Everybody's taking sacrifices game after game to take less shots, more shots, and they're doing it together, man. And that's why that fist becomes so strong, you know. And that's what I love about them, you know, that they just sacrificing for each other and doing whatever they need to do to be better and to win another national championship.
Tweety, Matthew Meyer, I think, is one of the coaching. The reason, if you want to look at what they can do to change a player's game or develop a player's game, not necessarily change it, but find what their skill set is, Matthew Meyer's the one. I mean, I'm sure you remember his freshman year where if he didn't shoot the ball in about 2 seconds of getting on the floor, he was he was mad.
Yes, sir. I mean, that was quick trigger right there. You know, to see him grow, to see him, you know, settle himself down and understand the game more and more, man. He's for sure going to be something special on the next level. You know, I love watching him play, and I got a lot of respect for him. A lot of people don't know, me and Matt Meyer used to play one-on-one so much. You know, I think it was his freshman or sophomore year, we used to play one-on-one so much, man. And that guy is so talented, and he's hard to guard. A lot of them are hard to guard. I can't say a lot of them are hard to guard, but we're speaking on Matthew Meyer right now, and he's one of the good ones, man. I can't wait to see him continue to grow and continue to help this team be successful.
Did you see the play he made the other night against Oklahoma, the block, steal, and fast break? Did you get to see that yet?
No, I didn't see that. I'm about to watch. I'm actually about to watch that game because I've been on the road traveling and everything. So I'm about to actually tune into this game right now and watch it for the first time, the Oklahoma and BU game.
Yeah, you're gonna see him make a heck of a play. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts about it, Tweety. Before we let you go, man, you're in Poland now, still hooping. You've been all over the world, man. I mean, you've been France and Greece and Portugal and Poland and Croatia and Latvia.
Yes,
I mean, everywhere. What's the experience continue to be like for you, and how are you enjoying where you are currently?
You have your ups and downs in this game. It's traveling overseas. You have the ups and downs, man. But one thing I can say, again, coming from Reserve Louisiana, I'm just blessed to be able to go through situations, to go through these ups and downs, to travel, have my wife and kids travel, see the world. You know, I'm just blessed. And a lot of people, you know, wonder, like, you know, what it's like. It's tough. Overseas, not an easy life to come over here and live for 9, 10 months out of the year. Go home for 2, 3 months, and you back going again. You know, for 12, 13 years, I belong. You know, some of these guys choose to play. It's a lot of adjustments. You know, especially sometimes when you don't go back to the same team. You have to go to a new country. You have to go to a new situation. You have to go to a new role. You know, you gotta really be professional about everything that you're doing and appreciate where you're at. You know, sometimes you deal with money not being on time and things like that. You just have to really understand that you're here for a reason, you know, and stand on that, you know, because God always puts you in position, you know, to be successful. You know, He don't put too much on you can't handle and things like that. So I always live by that. Just continue to keep my head up and appreciate, you know, everything that I'm going through, everything that I have, you know, and again, like you said, travel and see all these different countries. You know, my passport had to get another passport. You know, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. So I'm just thankful, man. I'm pretty thankful.
Well, Tweety, thank you so much for staying up late. Enjoy that. You're going to enjoy that game. It's interesting. Yes, Porter Moser's Oklahoma now. He's changed up their style. It's interesting, but you're really going to love
tough, man.
Yeah. It's tough. Yeah, you're gonna enjoy that game though, especially when you see what Matt did at the end of the game.
I
was something special.
I have to check it out now. I'm gonna sit here and tune into it.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Tweety.
Thanks for
Tweety. Staying up late, Tweety Carter, the great Tweety Carter. Yeah. always great to talk to him. And again, Ode to Joy premieres next week. Friday is the Waco Hall premiere. You can get tickets to that premiere at sick'em365.com. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. I've been told, Craig, that Smoaky and I got a good amount of time. I was a little worried that we weren't going to be that compelling, and they were going to be like 30 seconds, and that's it.
Yeah, me too. No, but yeah, that's awesome. And they've also got the ESPN Plus series that's going on simultaneously for both the men and the women. So a lot of airtime for Baylor basketball right now. I mean, between that ESPN Plus series focusing in on this particular season, as my screen freezes up, I realize. But and now this 3-part documentary series is going to be really, really cool to see what all comes from this, and what the reactions are. And I know that Sick'em 365 put a lot and invested a lot and worked a lot on this finished product. So very excited to see it and hope people enjoy it. And it's a good run right now for Baylor basketball. There's no doubt. I do have one transfer portal note. This might not be a big deal to a ton of people, but it's just interesting as these kind of come across. But Jaden DeLora, the quarterback at Washington State, has entered the transfer portal. He's a Hawaii kid, I believe, originally. So don't know if he sticks to the West Coast or not, but he was an interesting player to watch this year. So he's into the transfer portal as another quarterback, that's now into the portal. But I just happened to notice that, and I'd watched him a bit this season, so found that interesting. But it never stops, Paul. The transfer portal shuffle, it never, ever stops.
No, it's constant. We'll take a break right here. When we come back, Craig, let's talk a little Georgia and Alabama. As we'll talk about it a lot on Monday for sure, but I want to talk about it a little bit before we go into the weekend, and then we'll wrap up the show with the top 5. Today, top 5 binge shows from my isolation these last few days. So, especially since college football is essentially over, except for one more game. So that's going to be what we talk about in the top 5. But next up, Georgia and Alabama. We're 3 days away from the national championship game. This is Sick'em 365 Radio, 365 Sports.